Hey, my beautiful listeners, we are back with season 3 of The Beautiful Side of Grief, and I'm your host, Helen Morris. My incredible guests continue to share their own personal stories of grief in so many different forms and how they have managed to find the positives and beauty from their experiences. And I hope by listening to these honest, heartfelt accounts, you can find the tips, insights, resources, and strategies you need for where you're at here and now. And maybe one day even find a beautiful side to your grief like I have. So share away, as I would love this podcast to reach as many who need to hear it as possible. Don't forget to check out the episode notes as well for more information and links. Plus the energy healing I do that changed my life forever. And this season, I'd also love to share the affirmations and meditations I'm working on, so stay tuned for those. Right now though, my thanks for listening, and let's check out who this week's guest is. Many people experience dreadful trauma in their lives. But what do you think about this? Having to endure 4 years of genocide where half of your country's population was killed. Now that has to be on another level altogether, right? And to come out of it with beauty, grace, and compassion like my guest today, Sara Im, has, well, this is someone we can all learn from. Sara grew up in Cambodia and endured 4 years of captivity in the harshest of conditions and survived where millions didn't. She found the courage to make a dangerous escape with 3 others, and they made it out. Now, she is using these experiences as an inspirational speaker and the author of an award-winning book, How I Survived the Killing Fields, to help others find their way through life's challenges rather than giving up. Sara graduated from Western Connecticut State University and shares across all mediums, TV, radio, podcasts, churches, conferences, how tenacity, perseverance, and faith are the required values to conquer fear and reach success. And Sara speaks to help others refocus, build confidence, and develop self-leadership. She also operates her own wellness business, Smart Healthy Living, is a member of the Women Speakers Association, Toastmasters International, and a founder and director of Christian Professionals Network of Tampa Bay. And from that, you can sort of ascertain that she lives in the Florida region, where she has just celebrated 32 years of marriage. So thanks for joining in as I take this opportunity to chat to Sara to discover how you can turn adversity of the worst kind into positivity and success. And if she can, I know you can too. And I'm sending you love, hope, and happiness to help you in your own journey. So I want to start this episode off by setting the following intention, and that is to discover how to live less with fear, more with hope, courage, and positivity in your daily life. And I say daily life because if you live with these qualities daily, this will naturally be how you live your life overall. And that is an exciting place to be in. So a very, very warm welcome to you, Sara. And I'm so grateful for you taking this time to chat with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on your platform.
You're most welcome. And I thought before we get into the serious stuff, what is something fun that you love to do that always makes you feel happy and want to laugh?
Oh, something fun. I enjoy listening to funny story, joke, and all that. And also, I love decorating with flowers. If you give me a bunch of flower in some vases, I will put in decorate it in a flower arrangement. That's what I love to do for fun.
Oh, beautiful. And who is somebody that makes you want to laugh that you listen to?
Friend, friend, just
yeah. And I'm a great believer that when you're laughing, you're always feeling so much better. It just takes you into a really beautiful space.
Yeah, my friend told me that my laughter is contagious. So everybody in the room will laugh with me.
Great, I love that. So, growing up, I was always affected by hearing stories about the Holocaust and the killing fields. And to this day, I really find it difficult to get my head around what leads people to commit any dreadful atrocity on that sort of scale, or any at all, whether it's to one person or to many. So before we touch on that, I'd like our listeners to get an understanding of what your life looked like prior to 1975 and Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge regime. So you were a teenager, right?
Yeah, when the Pol Pot regime came, I was already in college. I was already 21 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a really young, impressionable age where you're just feeling like you're starting to live your life, not have it cut short by everything you experienced. And in 1975, everything as you knew it changed forever in Cambodia, didn't it?
Yes. Yes. Our country was pretty much destroyed. They shut down everything and they kill a lot of intellectual people. They kill a lot of innocent people and they kill young children. So it's unbelievable that people can do that. And
Yeah.
and we lost so much in our country. We lost intellectual people and we lost all the infrastructure of the company of the country, everything that we have.
So their purpose was, basically to do away with all the people that had been through university, had some sort of position of influence over others, wasn't it?
Yes, they don't want anybody that has some kind of knowledge to form a revenge against them, to rebel.
Mm. And did that really scare you? Because you were 21, you were at college, you were educating yourself, and suddenly you're in a system where, education is actually going to be the thing that works against you.
Yeah, I was not fearful. I didn't know about it. I didn't know. They did not announce that if you are educated, nobody say anything. But we know that people that are educated, they disappear. They just
Yeah.
disappear. They don't make an announcement to make you be aware of it. So I have no idea that I should be in danger. I should protect myself. But
Oh, so
my instinct told me that I should not tell them that I have been in the university. It for some reason, something just whisper in my ear. Just don't say.
Oh, I'm so glad that you had that intuition and that insight to do that, because life could have been very, very different. And did it affect your parents or your immediate family at all? Did you lose any members close to you?
My immediate family, they are okay, but I lost a lot of cousins, uncles,
Yeah.
especially my male cousin. Most of my male cousins.
It's hard to imagine. So our listeners can read your book, to get a more in-depth understanding of what you actually endured. And I think it will defy comprehension when people read it. Though to summarize, you actually worked under starvation conditions for long hours in rice fields, and you contracted several diseases, and you actually got sent to a death camp to die, didn't you, under this regime? Tell us a
Yes.
little bit more about that and what proved to be the most life-changing for you during those 4 years.
Yeah, when I was mistreated so badly, pushed to work so hard and starved and exhausted, I became very sick and then was sent to that death camp. I realized that I don't want to die. And I make up my mind that I will do anything in my power to stay alive. I did not give up. The reason why I didn't want to give up because I love my family and
Yeah.
I love my mom and I want to go back home to help out. It's now that I need anything else. I just want to help out my family. And with that purpose, that helped me to stay alive. So that's something that I realized, that when we are in a really bad situation, we want to be close to the people that we love the most. So I'm sure everybody in any nation will feel the same way. We want to be close to.
That is so powerful. And so that was a driving thing for you that you found within you that gave you that will to live when so many others around you were dying. Was there anything else that, made you sort of really dig your toes in and say, okay, I'm going to get through this?
I I grew up in a positive environment. I was a firstborn, and I feel very loved and secure when I was young. So that love and security when I grew up, it helped me build up my confidence, build up my self-esteem. And also during my teenage year, when I became a caregiver to my mom became paralyzed from an accident. So so I have to take care of her. But not grumble. I did not do it with grumbling. I do it with love because I want her to get well again. So
Yeah.
my love for my mom, it translates into such a meeting, a relationship. My mom love for me and my love for her, it just bind us together and strengthen our relationship. Now that the hard time hit us, that love bond help us. It give us the energy that yes, we have somebody to love, and yes, I love my family. It's just such a wonderful energy to give us. It's just something
Yeah.
for us to look forward to.
I understand that because when I lost my daughter Tal, it was that immense love that we had for each other that still carried me through the worst of those times. I could feel her love. I could feel her wrapping me up in love. And I could feel her going, it's going to be okay, Mama. It's going to be okay. I'm never leaving you. So physically she wasn't here, but, I believe spiritually she has
Yeah.
never, ever left me. And to this day, I feel that beautiful love. And yes, I can understand the power of that to get you through those very, very, very tough times. And I think it's beautiful that the love that your mum had shown you and that made you feel so safe and secure, that you were then able to, give back to her when she most needed it after her accident. And yeah, I bet you made the most beautiful caregiver for her. So you actually made a daring and dangerous escape from the camps where you were being held. And you did that with 3 others. What gave you the courage or how did you find within you the courage to decide to do that when it was obviously such a dangerous thing to do?
What gave me the courage is that I had to decide between staying or living. Staying, that means I will be separated from my family forever because I was pushed into the jungle and I will never find my family in the jungle. My family is in the village near the city and I know where to go. So I decided if I don't have a freedom, if I don't have my family, my loved one with me, living in the jungle with these people, it's just a miserable life. I rather die than living that way. So
Yes.
freedom is more important than anything.
Could you, just before I go into the next question around that, when you were living with these people in the same circumstances as you, could you tell by looking at somebody that they had lost all hope? Could you see it written in their body?
Yes, yes. there are many people that lost their hope and they did not
Yeah.
make it. They did not make it through. They die. A lot of people die because they don't have, well, the hope. Without hope,
Yeah.
you don't have a willing to live because what do they need to do in order to live? What for? If they don't have any expectation, they don't have anything to look forward to. In the contrary, I have my beautiful family to look forward to. That give me hope. So that's the
Mm.
difference. When you don't have anything, you don't have a purpose in life, you and you don't have love in life. So love, purpose give us hope. And
Yes.
yeah, and your faith, you believe that it will happen. You believe that something better will happen. So when you believe like that, you will have hope.
Yes. Yes. And it only needs to be a glimmer of hope. It only needs to be something that you can say, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know that is what I'm going to reach down the line. So just hold on to it and just keep going and endure what you have to endure. Yeah. There's a great quote from Edith Eger that I'm going to preface the next question with. And the quote is, survivors don't have time to ask, why me? For survivors, the only relevant question is, what now? So you made your escape. What now? What happened after that?
Yeah. After I escape, after I get out from captivity, I have freedom, and I can go and find my family. Looking for the loved one is the first important task for me.
Mm.
So searching for your loved one.
Yeah. Was there that fear wrapped around that you may be caught again and taken back?
If I get caught, I would get caught that night that I escaped, because once we we run through the night, throughout the whole night, so we have been far away from them. But
Okay.
it's a good thing, the timing is perfect for us. We didn't know that the whole country had been liberated. They had been liberated about 4 months before we escaped. I
Oh,
found out
wow.
I found out that much later. When I got home, I found my family, and my dad was wandering around the neighborhood, around the city, and asking people, say, have you seen my daughter? Have you seen my daughter? Everywhere he went and looking for me. So the whole country was liberated, but now in my camp.
Wow. Gosh, that must have been heartbreaking to know that you had to endure even 4 months extra,
Mm,
in those types of conditions when you didn't need to. But I'm so happy that you did escape, that you were brave enough, that you had the courage, you got out. And it would be really nice to think that you could be reunited with your family and then go on to live a happy and peaceful life. But trauma takes such a toll on your mind and body, doesn't it?
yes.
How did it affect your body?
Well, it affects my health big time. I will still have some issue with women cycling, a cycle, and all that. So it took about 1 year before my whole system get back to normal. So I didn't have period for the whole 4 years plus another year. My
Yeah.
period, my cycle was just completely shut down.
And that's often an effect of starvation, isn't it? And your body will do that just to cope with that. So it also affects your mind because you can't erase or pretend you didn't go through what you've been through. At what point did you realize that you needed to face the trauma that was still inside of you, that was still perhaps affecting your day-to-day life?
Well, it did not take me too long because for me, for the whole 4 years, I was dreaming about reuniting with my family. But as soon after I escaped and a long walk and find my family again, I reached my goal. So I did not hold on to that bitterness any longer. So I forgot all about all the pain, the suffering and everything. So I enjoy my new life with my family. So that achievement, it's the biggest achievement I can recall because you have been dreaming for 4 years about this moment. But once I get it, nothing else is matter. What matter is that I reach my goal. I found my loving family. So I forgave and I forget all those pain in the past.
That is an incredible way to look at it, because what you endured is beyond what any of us or most of us will ever go through in our lifetimes. And it's on a different scale. Yet to have that mindset, and I read something that says, nobody can take away from you what is in your mind. And so for you to be dreaming of your family and being reunited with them and being surrounded in that love again, those were all incredible visions to have in your mind that were setting your body up to be exactly in that place when it happened. And that is incredible. Many people are not so lucky to live that way. They experience trauma and they hold on to it and relive that trauma over and over and over and over again in their bodies. So that becomes their life. They don't see that there can be a different way of living. What would you say to those people to help them shift from that way of being to being able to look at life with hope?
In fact, I have many friends that are that way because they just cannot move on. They cannot pass that trauma mindset. They keep thinking, remind themselves. So their life is miserable. But I cannot say it's the bad thing, but we have to give them the tool. How can they walk past that barrier? For me, is that you have to look for something that is good enough to say, I'm thankful, I'm grateful. So even though in the midst of difficulty and hard time and everything, you will find something good in it to be grateful for. So,
the power of gratitude. That is indeed the one thing that I believe changed my life. Seriously.
yeah.
After losing Tal, whenever I started to go into that dark place, I used to just flip it around and say, okay, what am I grateful for here in this moment? And what am I grateful about having her in my life for 18 years? And what am I grateful? And this gratitude just became such a big deal for me that it just happens every single day. I just think, oh, what am I grateful for today? What is really good about today? And I take that into my workplace. I don't let other people affect how my day is going to be, because I can see so many beautiful things that I'm grateful for just being in that moment, in the here and now. And I think the power of that alone sounds such a little thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds, and you think, how can this make such a big change? But it does.
Yes.
Yeah. So what made you write a book about your experiences? Because to do that, you would have had to relive what you went through at a very, very detailed level. And that must have been incredibly painful for you to do.
It was painful And I hesitate. I hold on to that thought that I have a book in me, but that book is going to be painful. But little by little, I realized that my book can help a lot of people. One of my good friends invited me to speak at the women group long before the book was published. Long before I thought that I'm going to write a book. And when I spoke, I shared my story. The ladies in the audience cried, and later on, I found out that she lost her child to suicide, and I just could not believe it because I never thought that people live in this beautiful country with abundance of everything, so rich in everything, could be desperate enough to take their own life. So I could not believe it. And I realized if this person just listen, just hear about my story, they might change their mind. So I might be able to help save their life. So that's what I was thinking. That's one of the reasons that I think it might help somebody save their life.
I think so too. And I think that is an incredible reason to be writing a book. I think on a scale more than ever today, we have so many beautiful, beautiful souls feeling like they don't fit in, feeling the darkness, feeling all these things and deciding and choosing not to be here. Yet I am a great believer that the differences in people are the reason they need to be here. You know, everybody is beautiful and everybody has something to offer in some way. Yet somehow society has made us believe we have to follow all these rules and be a certain way and act a certain way. And I think that's confusing for people, and they don't realize that the most beautiful thing you can be is 100% yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And also help people understand that it's not what is missing, it's what you have in hand right now. It's the most precious thing. You should be grateful for what you have. So
Yes.
yeah, when they evacuate us from the city, push us to go into the rice field, we lost everything. I lost everything. If I keep moaning, growing about what I have lost, what I have left behind, I would never be happy. I would always miss all my beautiful clothes, my beautiful shoes, and my jewelry and all that. But I did not think about all those things. It's not as important. My life is very important to my family. So when you think of what is important, what you have in hand, that will give you confidence that you have whatever you need.
Yes. Yes, that is valuable. Yes. It's not looking at everything around you or the things.
Mhm.
It's the people and the connections and the love and the friendships. And those are the things that are so beautiful and, irreplaceable, really. Everything else you can replace on some
Yes.
level. Yes. So a lot of people are facing immense fear and anxiety. And I believe anxiety often stems from fear. And there's so much darkness that people feel they are facing. How do they overcome that fear? Besides learning to be grateful for what they have, what are some other ways that you can overcome fear?
Fear is it's something you believe that it's, it's you believe that bad thing will happen. So you have a negative mindset about what might happen. That create fear. But if you if you have love in your heart, if you believe in God or your higher power, and you trust that that higher power can help you, can protect you if you have that strong connection, a relationship. So the love relationship with human being and your love relationship with God and your faith, your belief, that will help you, strengthen you, make you feel confident. When you are confident, you don't have that fear.
Yes. Because it's thinking about it that actually makes it far bigger than what it actually is. Because there's research that's been done that says 85% of what we fear never ever comes to fruition. It never ever happens. And of that 15% that does, it's often on a much, much lesser scale than what we've imagined in our mind. And, you only need to think back of something that you did and you were really fearful perhaps of telling somebody that you'd done that, thinking, oh, they're going to be really cross and angry with me. And you get yourself all wound up because you feel dreadful about what's happened and what their reaction is going to be. And then they say, oh, that's okay. It doesn't matter, and then you go, oh, why did I just spend all that time worrying about that? and I think that's what we have to start doing is, okay, acknowledge that, okay, this is a little bit of a worry, but then just step back and trust and do what you can do and let it go and just see what happens. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah. Faith, increase your faith. Faith can overcome your fear. So hold on to faith, not fear. So let increase the faith. The faith will let the fear go away.
Yes. So there's many ways fear manifests itself in people that they may not be aware of. I also love that you focus on health and well-being, no matter what age you are, and that you bravely continue to share your message so that others can be inspired to change their perspective on life. Why is it so important for you to be focused on health and well-being? And this is two questions actually. And the second question is, what is important about you continuing to share this message of what you experienced?
I continue to share this message because I have the experience of having family members who are severely sick. And when somebody in our family is sick, it affects the whole family. And when my mom was paralyzed for 4 years, do you know the effect of that illness? It's emotionally and financially. That's the most affected by that. And during those times, I remember we lost everything. My dad had to close their shop, so there's no income coming in. So we use up all the saving. And in Cambodia, there is no social security, no government support to help a family that in hardship like that. So we just struggle financially and emotionally. But without our strong love for each other, we probably didn't make it. So I realized that we have to keep ourselves healthy. It's not just for our own self, it's for our whole family. The benefit of staying healthy, it benefits everybody in our family. And we don't have to deal with disease, because if we take care of our own health, there's no fear for disease. We'll stay healthy.
It is knowing that you have the power within you to actually go and change that. And that is a lot about taking those steps to be healthy, to be fit, but also taking care of your mental well-being, to be living in gratitude and faith and hope and all those wonderful things, because they are positive. And when you live with positivity, your body has a way of healing itself. Would you agree with that?
I totally agree. I totally agree in building up our resilience. When you have a strong resilience, that means you are more positive, you are optimistic, you have self control, you have strong control of your mind, of your thought, and it just everything that is positive contribute to that resilience. When we are resilient, we would not fall into the negativity. So, well, the positive will will overcome the negativity that sneak up on us.
I worked on a program for 4-year-olds, and one of the strength and difficulties questionnaires had a part on it was called a pro-social score, and that was a measure of a child's resilience to be able to adapt to what was happening within their environment and their life and that. And if they had a high pro-social score, then they were more likely to be able to move forward and not be impacted so much by some of the negative things that may be happening to them. So, yes, even from a very, very young age, resilience is so, so important.
Yeah,
Yes.
I also learned that it's now you are not born with resilience. You have to add to it. It's like a bank account. You have to keep adding the positive thing into your resilience bank account. So that's one of my favorite topic to talk about.
And is that what it is? Is it to become resilient? You just keep focusing on the positive things happening in your life, or having positivity around you, the people around you? Or is it other things as well that contribute to building up that resiliency?
There's a lot of things that you do that it's positive, but you don't realize it. Like strengthen our relationship with people, with our family, with our community, with with our group. That's considered positive.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and that's it. Just actually recognizing what those positive things are already happening in our life, or that we can have happening in our life. Because sometimes, and I'm a classic at this, I self-isolate. I love my own company. I have from when I was very, very little. And so I can spend a little bit too much time by myself. So it's always a good reminder for me to get myself out in front of other people, socializing, speaking to them and that, and getting out of my own thoughts. And that's always really helpful. So who do you find, or what types of people are you finding are wanting to hear your story to help themselves? Is it what sort of groups, what sort of individuals are seeking you out?
So far, women group are more open to hear my story, but I also speak at men and women, especially the older people, the more mature people, not old, just like
Yeah, more mature.
like,
I like that.
like 50 and up, they're more receptive. They more like to hear, to understand how it affects my life, and how do I have to share with the community about my experience living through that such a harsh condition. So more mature people love to hear my story.
Yes.
But I'm sorry. But
No, you go ahead.
But lately, I have a one-on-one meeting with young woman, and she said, "Oh, your story will be good for the young generation." So this is perk up, give me another set of audience. And say, "Oh, okay."
That is exactly just what I was speaking, because when you become more mature, you have a lot more awareness. However, I believe that it's really, really helpful for our younger generation, those still in school, to understand how bad things can happen, and there's nothing that you can do about them. But what you can change is how you react to them, how you respond to them, how you think about them. And if you start teaching that to our younger generation, then, they may be better equipped to be able to then face other things that happen in their life so that they don't get to that point of despair and feel like they shouldn't be here or that there is no hope going forward. So, yes, go target that audience. I think they would love to hear your story about what you've been through.
Yeah.
Well, Sara, I think that you have so many incredible things to be offering people, but, just through hearing your story, hearing what you've been able to endure and overcome. And so I, definitely will leave the links to your book and how to contact you in case anybody would like to book you or get in contact with you to discuss this further. What I would like to know now, though, is what is the best thing that has happened to you so far today or this week?
The best thing that happened to me so far is my opportunity to be interviewed by another podcaster that they adore my story, and they are outside of United States. So it gave me such a pleasure to know that my story is not contained in just in United States. It can be helpful to anybody in the world. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, that is such a lovely thing to say. What do you consider your proudest moment in your life to date?
My proudest moment in my life today is my opportunity to bring my whole family to United States to safety. It took us 5 years for them, but it was the wait. It was the hard work. It was a lot of hard work, but they finally got here.
Oh, that is so rewarding. When did that happen? When did you move to the States? When did you get out of Cambodia and be able to move to the States? And when did you get your family all there?
I left Cambodia in 1980 and went to Thailand and waiting for the visa, waiting for the sponsorship to be approved for 1 whole year. So that's another year. I arrived in the United States in 1981, and my family left Cambodia about like 3 years after that. But they got caught in a situation where the refugee camp no longer register new people. So my family came into the situation that they are undocumented. That in a very dangerous zone. So I was so fearful for their life. I worked very hard. I involved a lot of government, a lot of congressmen and senator, everybody that I can ask for help. But I need to become a U.S. citizen in order for me to sponsor them as an immigrant directly under my support. So they had to wait 5 years in hiding. They had to hide themselves to avoid getting caught, getting thrown into jail. Wow. So it was a very hard time, but it's very rewarding at the same time when we got them out.
Oh, it must have been the best feeling. And I tell you what, Sara, I'd actually quite like you on my side if anything went wrong. If you're going up to that really high level to get things happening, I mean, you're obviously really tenacious. So I love that about you. When you have a moment in your day where things are really going off the rail, and we have a term here, when things turn to custard, what do you do to shift yourself out of that space into a more positive mindset?
Well, right now I am a Christian, And I believe in prayer, and I believe in how people in my life that I trust enough to share that dark moment and share and ask them for help, for prayer, just to pray for me.
Yes.
This is something I need help with. Please pray for me. So, and I go to my prayer corner and just pray and ask God to help me, as I did in the work camp. So I did it in my dark time, and now anytime I have a little bit challenging, I pray to God again because I trust in Him.
Great. That's wonderful. And there's something really special about once you actually share with somebody what you're going through. It's almost like you've solved half of it already, isn't it? Just by that act of sharing with others. What takeaways would you like to leave our listeners with today, Sara?
If anything, people would like to live a life of happiness, have a purpose, have a sense of purpose that is bigger than yourself. It could be your family, it could be some cause that you believe in, whatever it is that make your heart sing, that make you smile, that make you want to get up in the morning and go to work for it. Have that strong purpose and determined to get it.
That's wonderful.
So
yes,
that's number one. And number two, have love in your heart. Your family and your neighbor and your friend. Just love people. Love people. Because it doesn't cost you anything to love on people. You can find something good about somebody and love on them. And number three is to have a positive mindset. No matter what situation you are in, try to look for something that is good to be grateful for.
Yes. Tick for all of those. I 100% agree with all of them. And actually, I was tearing up as you were speaking about that second one about having love for everyone, because like you say, it is so easy to give love to somebody and to find something lovable about somebody. And we often just need to change our perspective, and that will do the trick. How can people reach you, Sara, if they want to get a hold of your book, which is How I Survived the Killing Fields, or if they want to book you as a speaker, or they just want to touch base with you? How can they do that? Bearing in mind, I'm going to have all this information in the episode notes as well.
Okay, great. Good question. I can be reached on my website, saraim.com. Yes, SARAIM.com. And I'm also active on LinkedIn. If you are on LinkedIn, that's the easiest way to connect with me and reach out to me. And I can reach on Facebook. But I think the best place is LinkedIn and website.
Yeah, fantastic. Because you have some very, very good interviews on your website as well, which will also provide many more valuable tips to people if they just want to go take a look and have a listen and hear more how other people have focused on different areas with you. So, Sara, I would just like to say a very, very, very heartfelt thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share your story with others, to hear your story. And like I knew you would be so inspiring. I knew it right from the outset. I could just feel this beautiful warmth and love about you. And that's what I'm all about, is helping people know that it doesn't matter what you face in life. There can be a better side to it. There can be even a beautiful side to it. And that's what we're exploring. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this platform. What you are offering to listener is very important because we cannot go holding on to our grief too long. We have to look for the beauty, look for the best side of anything, everything. You can always find something good to be grateful for.
Ah, that's a great parting comment. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I hope you got some real value from this episode. Let me know how I'm doing or if there's a topic you'd like covered by clicking on the Healing to Be You Gmail link or going to the Healing to Be You website. To get notified of new episodes, hit the subscribe button and please share if you know of someone who could benefit from this episode. Until next time, be kind to you and take good care.